Happy Saturday, Instagram family. We are officially live for the Selling and Sales Q&A. I just decided to impromptu go live because we got such juicy questions in the pop-up Q&A that I did in our IG stories. So there's 5 main questions that I'm going to be answering today around sales and selling that is going to rock your world. I have so much energy moving through me right now because marketing, sales, branding, this is my jam. And we're going to talk about it within the scope of wealth embodiment. So if you're just hopping on, grab a notebook, grab a pen. This is definitely going to be one of those trainings that you want to take notes. And I may or may not save this live stream. It's either going to go into the House of We, which is our global money membership, or it will stay up on IG Live for about 24 hours. So this is really an impromptu training. I have a lot that I want to share with you today. So if you're here, you're catching it live, soak it in, take notes, listen to me in your headphones, take me with you as you're going on your errands. You're definitely going to want to hear this. This is going to be really, really, really powerful. And I'm doing it because I want us to win. I want us to build businesses that feel sustainable, that feel embodied, and that feel impactful. And these questions are all such powerful indicators that we have the ability to do this. We just need to shift the way we're thinking about business, specifically marketing and sales. If it's your first time ever here, welcome. I'm so happy that you caught this. My name is Victoria Washington. I'm the CEO and the founder of the House of Wealth Embodiment. It's a global money membership for entrepreneurs, women of all walks of life who are committed to embodying their wealth identity for worldwide impact. So at the House of We have Wealth Embodiment Flow, which is a practice that I founded to support you in healing financially. And then we also have the We Academy, which is where I teach marketing and business specifically through the lens of wealth embodiment. Doors are going to be opening soon, so if you're curious about it, you can get on the wait list. And if any of our We fam is here live, I'd love to see you. Drop a little emoji below so I can say hello personally. And let's dive into today's Q&A. Jessica, I'm so happy that you're on. I see Jeannie's here. Okay, I don't want to get distracted. Let's do this. So we have 5 main questions. I've anonymously tagged you if your question was chosen, so hopefully you're catching this live. And we're going to start with one of the most important questions that I saw on here. And I want to preface this by saying some of what I'm going to say today is going to sound like tough love. And I'm coaching and mentoring in this way because we need a little bit of tough love right now. Because we need to start to look at our businesses through a different lens because the game is changing. The game of innovation is changing. The game of social media is changing. The game of entrepreneurship is changing. And we can have whatever negative projections we want on the word game or the way that we're doing social media, but at the end of the day, we started our businesses to be free and to make freedom available for more people. So if we're not feeling that in our businesses, we have to look at that. And part of what I'm teaching today is going to support in the collective liberation of us as entrepreneurs and what we're doing here on this planet. So that's the bigger why and where I'm coming from today. And that's going to require us to have some uncomfortable conversations and to look at things that we may not want to look at right now. So the first question I'm going to answer is, sell like you buy, yes. But what if few people are buying? I buy fast, lots of people are buying slow around me. So just to give a little bit of context to this question, our most recent post inside the House of We Instagram page is 5 steps to sacred selling. If you haven't already looked at it, check it out. It's a really juicy carousel where I walk you through the 5 steps to sell in a more sacred and ceremonial way. And on slide number 4, I wrote one of the most profound concepts within the Wealth Embodiment brand, which is to sell like you buy. When we sell like we buy, we enter into a deeper state of integrity. When we sell not like how we buy, we're starting to sell like something else and someone else. So this question is asking, sell like I buy. Yes, I'm buying fast, but people around me are buying slowly. And what that translates into is you're likely selling fast, and then people will start to buy slow. So I'm going to break this down because we're about to go really deep into this question. What really this means when I say sell like you buy is not necessarily sell as fast as you buy, but sell like why you buy. Somebody write that down. Sell like why you buy. So it's deeper. It's not about you, it's about them. And when we can understand why we buy, we can begin to infuse that into the way that we sell. and enter into a deeper state of harmony and a deeper state of integrity with the way that we're marketing and we're selling. When we're selling fast, we're likely not marketing. This is a huge breakthrough. If you're selling without marketing, it's like going up to somebody and giving them a hug without them ever giving you any sort of consent or giving you any sort of green light. It's like, you need a hug, you desire a hug, here's a hug. So we've never actually attuned to what do they need, what do they desire, and what are the benefits of the offer or the program or the hug that I'm going to give them. So let's go into this really quickly because this is going to shift the way that you sell, and then we'll get into sales, which is a completely different thing. Selling is you telling people about the offers, programs, and opportunities that you desire to provide. And then sales is them entering into an exchange because they desire to receive that offer. I'm going to say that again. Selling is you telling people about the opportunities, offers, and programs that you desire to give. So selling is giving. And then sales is the exchange, the mutual exchange of the other person saying, yes, I desire to receive that. And then you're receiving a monetary exchange or potentially an email or potentially a conversation or some other type of currency. So sales represents receiving. There's a huge misconception that if I buy fast, my audience is going to buy fast. But just because you buy fast doesn't mean your audience is going to buy fast. Most people don't buy fast. And this is a huge misconception that we've seen in the coaching industry specifically. I don't know who started it. I don't know where it came from. The idea or the belief that if I invest fast and I move at this specific rate, then people are going to follow. This is nuanced because there's layers. Yes, on some level, those big investments and those fast investments and those sacral yeses create a level of embodiment and certainty and leadership. Absolutely. But it does not automatically translate into more sales. So you could be buying fast and saying yes fast and investing fast, and your audience doesn't match that. Because you investing fast, your audience doesn't care. 9 times out of 10, how fast you're moving or how fast you're buying, that doesn't impact them. That doesn't matter to them. It might be inspiring for a short period of time. It might have them notice or take note of you, but it doesn't create longevity or memory. There's people that I work with that have never invested in a coach. There's people who don't currently invest in a coach, but I'm investing in a coach. And so we have this misconception that I want to show my audience that I've invested in the product or the style of product that I'm selling so that they get inspired to invest themselves. But that's not what gets people to buy. That's what gets people to maybe relate or connect or say, wow, that's really powerful. But what does it have to do with them? So what we have to do is do 2 different examples. Number 1, where dreams come true. What's the brand? And then we'll do the 1 word. Where dreams come true. Where dreams come true. What's the first brand that comes to mind? Disney. So all I had to say was 1 line, and immediately we start to see Disney. So that just shows that Disney's brand personality, Disney's brand, has created a memory in the hearts and the minds of thousands and thousands and millions of people on this planet. That's not by accident. That's by really powerful marketing, consistent branding, not selling. Disney sells all the time, but selling doesn't create memory. Marketing does. We're going to do 1 more. This one's just 1 word, and you'll know exactly what it is. Check mark. What's the brand? One word, check mark. Nike. 1 word, that lives in the hearts and the heads and the minds of millions and millions and millions of people. And when I say check mark, you don't see a shoe. What do you actually see? You see Just Do It, and you see an athlete. You see somebody that you admire. You see somebody that inspires you. You see somebody that invites you to play bigger, to go bigger. And then you're in that feeling, you're in that experience, and oh, they sell shoes. I want shoes. So you maybe didn't even want shoes before, but you want this feeling, you want this experience. Shoes. Same thing with Disney, where dreams come true. This could be for anything. This could be a vacation. It could be an Airbnb. It could be, a computer for all we know, but Disney chose movies and entertainment and visuals. And they are absolutely pleasure-driven buyers that are engaging in that. Reconnect with, how am I marketing right now, my product, my offer, or my service? And am I actually selling it? Because me telling people about investing isn't necessarily telling them why I'm the one for them and why they get to invest in my program. So we see a lot of posts out there that say things like, I did this, and this is how impactful it is. And most of the time, those posts come with a passive-aggressive tone. And if your brand personality has this slight dig, like you're just ever so slightly talking down on your audience, then it's going to come across as, what does this have to do with me? It has everything to do with you. So you've made yourself the hero in your marketing versus your client, customer, audience. And we want your audience to be the hero. So every time I post something, I always ask myself, what does it have to do with them? How does this impact them? How does this educate them on why I'm the one for them? Why this program is the one for them? So an easy example to really get this is Nike, the CEO of Nike, and Nike has one of the strongest brands in the entire world. The CEO of Nike isn't thinking, I just bought a Ferrari, so now our sales are going to go up 50%. The CEO of Nike is looking at, are our people pleasure-driven buyers or are they results-driven buyers? So now let's get into the buying conversation. Let's actually have a business conversation about marketing and selling and actually placing your offers in front of the people who desire it, who need it, and will greatly benefit from it. So when we look at the different buying styles, which I broke down on slide number 5 in the most recent post for this page, I broke down that there's 2 core reasons why people buy. It's not that you are buying fast. That's not why people start to buy. They buy because of 2 things, pleasure or results. So there's results-driven buyers, and then there's pleasure-driven buyers. Eventually, you want your company to speak to both because there's a variety of different buyers. And then there's some companies who know exactly who their brand personality is, and they just are here for pleasure-driven buyers. So, for example, a music festival is not going to list off all of the results and the tangible exchanges that you're going to get by buying a 3-day festival ticket. They are there for pleasure-driven buyers. Pleasure-driven buyers invest and buy because the experience. They're more interested in the emotional connection and how they're going to feel as they're experiencing the product, service, or offer. And what it's going to mean about their status, about their identity, about how they show up in the world, about how they perform, about how they laugh, about how they love, about how they breathe, all the different things. So I'm a pleasure-driven buyer. When I decide to buy, I'm buying based off of how something makes me feel. And the marketing that I'm most attracted to is emotional style marketing that tells really good stories and connects with my personal heart. So Nike is a brand that does that brilliantly. They may not be the most proficient shoe on the market. While their quality is high, I'm sure we could find a shoe that performs slightly better or has a slightly more mechanical build. But what Nike does brilliantly is they tell really powerful stories and put some of the most high-performing athletes on the face of their brand. So when you buy Nike, you're not just buying a shoe. You're buying the experience of being like Michael Jordan. You're buying like being the action-oriented high achiever that you see all over their marketing. You're buying into the energy of just do it, and you're living that lifestyle as you wear their shoes. Now, somebody who's more of a results-driven buyer, they may feel good about that, but the reason why they buy is because there's a very clear need that will be met or a specific result that they're going to experience. So the marketing that they're more drawn to is more functional transactional marketing that lists off the exact benefits and features that are going to address their specific need. So when I'm buying in more of a results-driven way, like when I buy my supplements, I'm more results driven. So I'm not necessarily looking at the face of the brand or, all the emotional parts of it. I'm looking at, is this going to specifically meet my need of XYZ? And I'll buy it based off of that. Whereas if I'm looking at a clothing brand or I'm looking at a coaching program, I'm really feeling into the emotional well-being of that brand. So eventually we want to talk to both of these types of buyers, but first we have to discover what's our buying style. What's my buying style? So my buying style is more pleasure driven and more emotional connection. So most of my marketing, about 80% of it, is speaking to that type of person. So I'm selling like why I buy. I'm selling through stories. I'm getting really creative with reels and video and the way that I'm placing the story together. I'm really focusing on brand personality, value proposition, looking at how I am inviting you into a larger movement. So you're not just buying a coaching program or joining a money membership, but you're joining a financial revolution. You're joining something that feels much bigger. But somebody who's more of a results-driven buyer would be asking me questions like, can you guarantee this result? Can you guarantee that I'll go from here to here? And that could be something that turns you on eventually in your marketing. And I still infuse a little bit of that into my marketing for the House of We and all of my VW work. But at the end of the day, the whole thing at the core is based off of how I buy, because that's what I can fully get behind. So I wanted to clear that up specifically because the bigger question is not how can I model to my customers how to buy. The bigger question is how can I persuade in an integrous way my audience to join me in something that I'm already deeply convicted about. So the second layer here is we do get to persuade and convince, but not in an icky way. And these words tend to have negative connotations connected to them. But every single day, whether you realize it or not, someone is persuading you. Like Q persuaded me to get pizza last night. We have this beautiful gluten-free pizza that we get. I'm obsessed with it. I wasn't planning on it, but eventually he persuaded me. There's many, many times where I've been convinced to do something, but I have my own free will to say yes or say no. And my yes is sacred and my no is sacred. So when we're looking at selling specifically, we are, for the pleasure-driven buyers, we are persuading from this delicious space of, I'm so deeply convicted about this. I'm so deeply excited or delighted or feeling the exact benefits of what it is that I'm bringing to the marketplace. And I'm persuading you through different stories, through different visuals, through different creative marketing techniques to invite you in. And then it might take one time, it might take 2 times, it might take 3 times, but eventually become more fluid in the way that you are persuading with purpose. Secondary is the results-driven buyers. Most of them need to be convinced. They need to be convinced that what you're bringing to the table actually works. And right now, more than ever, there's tons and tons and tons of entrepreneurs in the marketplace. There's tons of people in the coaching industry. There's tons of humans online looking for solutions, looking for experiences, looking for different gifts that you have to offer, looking for different value. So we have to step up our marketing game. People are being marketed at all the time. We talked about this in Innovate, and we went really deep on how to build offers and look at your business model and start to increase the marketing intelligence of your brand. It is no longer enough to show up on stories and say, look what I did, and then expect people to just follow. And now I'm speaking generally. This is just universally a pattern that I've identified. It's just not enough. What we really get to understand is, how is my brand marketing? Because selling without marketing is empty. It doesn't go anywhere. So if we really want to increase sales and we really want to bring in people, quote unquote, faster, then we have to increase our marketing intelligence and build a deeper state of trust in memory. The most powerful thing that we can do is create memory in people's minds. So I did this on Innovate. I'm going to do this as an example here with you live. I'm going to say one word and you're going to tell me what brand it is. I'm going to say one word and you'll be able to tell me what brand it is. And this is going to be able to show you how powerful marketing is. We'll do two different examples. Number one, where dreams come true. What's the brand? And then we'll do the one word. Where dreams come true. Where dreams come true. What's the first brand that comes to mind? Disney. So all I had to say was one line, and immediately we start to see Disney. So that just shows that Disney's brand personality, Disney's brand, has created a memory in the hearts and the minds of thousands and thousands and millions of people on this planet. That's not by accident. That's by really powerful marketing, consistent branding, not selling. Disney sells all the time, but selling doesn't create memory. Marketing does. We're going to do one more. This one's just one word, and you'll know exactly what it is. Check mark. What's the brand? One word, check mark. Nike. One word that lives in the hearts and the heads and the minds of millions and millions and millions of people. And when I say check mark, you don't see a shoe. What do you actually see? You see Just Do It, and you see an athlete. You see somebody that you admire. You see somebody that inspires you. You see somebody that invites you to play bigger, to go bigger. And then you're in that feeling, you're in that experience, and oh, they sell shoes. I want shoes. So you maybe didn't even want shoes before, but you want this feeling, you want this experience. Shoes. Same thing with Disney, where dreams come true. This could be for anything. This could be a vacation. It could be an Airbnb. It could be, a computer for all we know, but Disney chose movies and entertainment and visuals. And that they are absolutely pleasure-driven buyers that are engaging in that. So, what does this tell us about our companies? It's starting to not just use our investments as our marketing. That's not marketing. It's actually becoming fluent and increasing the marketing intelligence of our brand. That's what leads to faster sales. That's what leads to a deeper connection with your audience. That's what truly begins to set in stone your mark in this space. Let's keep playing. Number 2, this is the second question, and I'm really excited to answer this because I'm seeing a lot of brands starting to re-pronounce themselves. I'm seeing a lot of people reset their space and decide to restructure how they're doing this thing, which is incredibly exciting. It means that innovation is on the table. It means that so much more is available to us. So she asked how to announce a new brand and your offerings at the same time. So this is really powerful because one of the reasons why I'm able to have multiple streams of revenue and multiple things working at once is because I sell and market more than one thing at once. And I remember the transition from only going one thing at a time to many things are happening at a time. And one of the reasons why is because I shifted from doing one thing at a time to multiple things get to happen at once. And there was a little bit of a mindset shift in there of me having to remember that I'm not bothering people and me having to remember that I'm not confusing people. And then underneath that, me feeling comfortable having multiple people come into multiple different containers. As much as we say we want that, on some energetic level, oftentimes that feels a tad bit threatening to our nervous system. So if you've been in the House of We before, you've mentored with me, you know I always ask before you decide to increase anything in your company, what gets to be stabilized for this to feel really, really good on all cylinders. And then that will have you address anything that gets to be cleared up. So the first thing that I would do is ask that question before announcing this rebrand, before bringing these offers to the table. So how I would do this strategically is, number one, begin to tease out the brand itself. So the brand itself is going to be revealed, and I would treat it more like the opening of a storefront. So as you open up a storefront, the store isn't empty. So if a new store opened on my block and they were like, we're open, we have an announcement, here's a new logo, here's a new door, we painted the inside, and then we got in there, there was nothing there, it'd be kind of like, what? So really simply, imagine you're opening up a new store and you need product and things in the store for people to buy in the new energy of the brand. So you're not necessarily announcing the brand, but you're opening the front of the brand up to announce the products and the offers inside. So as you begin to tease out this new brand, what I would simply say is there's going to be a whole new way to work with me inside of this new brand. There's going to be a whole new way for you to get this benefit, get this need met, and get this desire met. I would be very clear about that in your marketing. And if you haven't already watched Innovate, this would be amazing, because in there we go through how to set up your offers and very clearly, like I was just talking about in the first question, very clearly tell them why you are the one for them. Why are you the brand that they get to buy into? And why are you the person that they would coach with? Why are you the program for them? Why is the program going to benefit them? So starting to land all that now is going to really soften and open your audience to receive the brand once it's officially here. So between now and the launch, all of your marketing gets to be telling the story of why you are the one for them. And we went through the exact formula for that inside Innovate. And I pulled up some really powerful companies who did this beautifully and really did it in a more simple, distinct way. How does this new brand make them the hero? How do these new offers make them the hero? Yes, this is gonna up-level you in a big way. Yes, you've been through a lot to get where you are, but at the end of the day, how does it actually genuinely benefit them? If you can land that, then you're gonna have no problem having them move into this next phase of life and business with you. So you're announcing them both at the same time, but almost as a storefront, opening the door of the brand and saying, here, what is inside are my offers and these new experiences that I've never released before. So that's how I would do that in a really short, simple way. Okay, next question is how to sell with extremely low engagement. So this is a very common question that I've been getting, and that's likely because Instagram has been changing just like it always does. And there's just a lot of different things happening in our space that is requiring us to really revisit our why and requiring us to, like I said in the first question, we got to step our game up. We really got to step our game up. We have to start to really increase our marketing intelligence and understand what it means to run a business as a CEO. So CEO hat on right now for this question. If you need cash, like you need cash right now, then you selling to a low engaged audience is not going to work. We have to engage them, period. And we don't engage them by selling. So if you need cash, then what I would truly from the bottom of my heart recommend is decide what you're really good at and get paid for it somewhere else, whether that be a part-time job, whether that be doing VA work, graphic design, whatever you got to do. There needs to be something that's bringing in cash flow so that you can focus on the marketing and the brand proposition of your company. because people don't engage with selling if there's been no brand proposition and no marketing. So what did I say in the beginning? If we're selling without marketing, it doesn't do anything. It's just like telling people something, but marketing turns their head to actually listen. So we need you to focus on the marketing and not the selling necessarily. But if you are in a position right now where you need some cash, then you also get to have that need met while you focus on this other aspect of your business. So now let's talk about engaging a low engaged audience. Potentially Instagram is not the app that you want to engage with. Potentially it's Facebook. Potentially it's starting a Telegram channel. Potentially it's doing Facebook ads. Potentially it's something else. But I'm going to speak directly to Instagram. If I were to be starting from scratch, which we did essentially with this account, the House of We, to engage an audience. So House of We had virtually no engagement until recently. What I would do is first ask the people, what do they want? So we need to have customer compatibility, which we talked about in Innovate. Each customer has a set of needs, a set of desires, and a set of benefits that they're looking for. And your offers, your experiences become compatible to them when you market and understand their needs, their desires, and their benefits. And you're bringing things to the table that address those needs, address those desires, and address the benefits that they're looking for. So this might sound super simple, but let's not underestimate simplicity because it's often most powerful. What would it look like if you asked them? What are you desiring support with when it comes to blank, whatever sector of business or life that you support people with? What do you need right now? I would ask my audience. And this is exactly what we did with the House of We account. When it comes to money, what's something that is challenging you? How can we currently support you? What are you most looking for when it comes to a membership? What is something that you desire when it comes to blank? What's something that you absolutely need in your next blank? So I'd ask your audience what it is, because if you make it about them, then they're definitely going to engage, because the number one thing that people like to talk about is themselves. The number one thing that people like to engage with is things that are going to directly have them at the center of it. So that's the first thing that I would do. If they don't engage with that, then I would play a different angle and give them an incentive. So we did this in the House of We. Nobody freaking answered the beautiful poll that we put together. So I said, okay, if you answer the poll, you get a $50 Amazon gift card. It could be $25. So give some sort of incentive. Tell them why to engage. I'm building new content. We're creating some amazing things. And I want to hear from you directly. What is it that you need? And what is it that you desire? And we got so many responses. So it's less about, oh my gosh, they're not engaging. Now what? And it's more about, great, they're not engaging. What would I do with a human being if they were literally sitting in the room with me? That's what I asked myself. If House of We followers were in person with me sitting in the room and I asked a question and nobody answered, what would I do? I would incentivize them to ask and answer the question. I would invite them in a deeper way. I would change my angle. I would change my stance. I would change my tone. I would shift the way I speak. I would allow something new to come through. So this is why I'm saying to have your cash flow taken care of, because it's harder to think more critically and creatively when you're in a survival state of, I need you to answer. I need you to say yes. I need you to buy. I need you to do this, because otherwise I'll be in trouble. That completely suppresses the creative channel, and we can't actually begin to think about the intelligence of our marketing and try new things on, because there's this doom and this pressure holding us down. So that's exactly why in the beginning I said you got to clear that first, take care of that first before going into this, because otherwise, if you don't, everything you do, you'll be taking so personal. Because it's going to feel like a personal attack, because on some level it is. They said no, so now I can't do this. But if you had cash flow coming in and they said no, you wouldn't care. You would get creative and think of a different angle. That's exactly what we need to do as entrepreneurs. So that's my short answer for low engagement. There's so many different things to do. There's so many different ways to use this app and use social media and use use email. But the fact of the matter is, it takes a lot of trial and error. It takes commitment. It takes a level of consistency that leads to repetition. And when I say consistency, I'm not saying you need to be on every single day, but your energy and the way that you show up gets to be consistent. So you showing up powerfully one day could lead to a ripple of memory for 3 days, versus you showing up uncertain 3 days in a row could actually drop everything. So it's not consistency in how many times you're coming through. It's consistency in your belief and your faith and the depth of which you are devoted to this business and what it is that you're bringing to the planet. That has to be solid. And what it is that you're bringing to life, you have to be in love with it, in my opinion. You've got to be so over the moon about it to actually convince and persuade and invite people in. And that's what engagement is. If I wasn't obsessed with the House of We, if I wasn't head over heels for this work, I would not do it, because it is freaking hard. And there are days where it's not easy. And there is a lot of rejection and a lot of fear and a lot of doubt and a lot of putting yourself in positions that are not comfortable. So you have to truly, truly be behind what it is that you're bringing to life. To me, that is the basics of engagement. People want to engage with that energy. They want to play with that energy. And it takes time to build it and build it and build it and build it. And unfortunately, we have a lot of examples right now in the industry that are saying the opposite. And I just simply disagree. I don't think that it's easy. I think that organic marketing takes a specific set of ingredients. And for some people, those ingredients come really naturally. And we hope that they teach them and they share those things, just like I am doing here. And for some people, it takes time. And it takes this commitment to the bigger vision. And to really know why we're doing what we're doing. And to put things into motion that feel in integrity with us. So I want to honor you, the person who asked this question, because I know what it feels like to be gaining the courage to reveal yourself and then nobody meets you in it. It can feel like rejection. It can feel like shame. It can feel really scary. So the number one thing is to take care of yourself. Like truly take care of yourself. Make sure that you've got you so that you can show up with this thing and give it everything that you've got, but not from this place of I need this and I need this, otherwise I'm in deep trouble, because it's going to be felt. And it doesn't feel good for you. It doesn't feel good for them. And you deserve to have your creative channel blasted wide open so that you can truly bring things to life that feel beneficial for yourself and for others. That's my 100% on a Saturday in my oversized t-shirt answer. No gimmicks here. Okay, let's see. How to go from $0 to first $5,000 and then consistent $5,000 months. How to sell what your clients actually want. So this is similar to the other question I was just answering, but the number one thing to do is to find out what it is that they want. So a part of your marketing is going to be you intuitively feeling into what they want. And then another part of your marketing is going to be getting it from them directly and asking them or watching their behavior. So for me personally, I don't do a ton of market research. Once in a while, I'll throw a question up, especially as we're building out the House of We and if we're bringing something really new to the market. But on most occasions, I'm feeling intuitively what people need, and then I'm observing their behavior. So I'll watch different comments, I'll see how people respond to certain things, and I believe somebody who's a really powerful entrepreneur is a really powerful observer and listener. And as we take those listening skills and we take those observations, we begin to innovate solutions. So one thing that I talked about in Innovate, the workshop that I taught on Thursday, was a quote that Steve Jobs said, or no, it was actually Carmen Gallo. And he was teaching about how we don't sell to what people are telling us they desire. We're reinventing how they see their desires. So somebody could say to them, Thank you so much. Somebody could say to you, I want a, 4-story house with 4 bedrooms and I want this dishwasher here, and then they still don't buy the house. Same thing has happened in the coaching industry, and as we're releasing programs, I remember a few years ago, I asked my audience exactly what they wanted and what they desired, and I made a program directly for that, and nobody bought it, and I was so pissed. I was like, this is what you said you wanted. I created it to a T, and now you're not buying it. And it's because customers, like Carmen Gala says, customers don't innovate, they imitate. So we think that they desire freedom. We think that they desire freedom. We think that they desire more money. We think they desire more time. We think they desire freedom to do things their way. So if Steve Jobs went to the people of the phone industry, the people who had cell phones, and said, I know you guys desire to have a phone. I know you guys desire to be able to call people from wherever, whether you're at home or not. I know you desire to text message and have these different features and functions. And then if he asked them, do you desire to have a phone that's just one big screen? They would have said no. And then if Steve Jobs would have asked, well, what do you desire? They would have said, well, maybe we'd want the phone to go a little bit faster, or maybe we want more emojis on the thing. But they would never have innovated with him. They would have just imitated the same phone a little bit of a different way. Okay, so what we're doing is we are innovating how our clients look at their desires. So what Steve Jobs did after he brought the iPhone to the marketplace, what he did was he changed how we desire a phone. We didn't even think that that was possible. We didn't even think that that was a thing. And Steve Jobs brought it to the marketplace and said, here, and now you want it. So that's where we create really powerful offers and really powerful innovation. So if I were going from $0 to $5,000, the first thing I would do is I would get really clear on what my audience thinks that they desire. So if they desire freedom, I will give them that. But what I'm really doing is I'm innovating how they experience freedom. They're going to experience freedom in my brand and when they're in my programs. But what if on top of that, I had them in an experience that was like, whoa, I didn't know I could experience freedom in this way. So that's where you come in. What experience do you desire to provide? What's that specific offer? When you're going from $0 to a $5,000 month, that can happen in a number of different ways. You can either go in on a premium offer and sell that with the intention of having monthly recurring revenue. Or you could go a little bit more broad and be serving more people at a lower tier offer. So I like to look at your business as a triangle. At the base of your triangle, you're going to have your intro level offers that are going to get people warmed up and get them in the door with you to experience what it is that you have to bring. And those offers are typically anywhere between $0, so free, to $500. And then you have a middle tier, which is where people will go either after they're in the door, they'll go upstairs. And then on the top floor, the penthouse, they'll have a premium experience with you that either is a deeper dive into the work that you do, maybe it's VIP days, and those offers are all above $1,000. And we talked about all of this in Innovate. So I would highly recommend getting Innovate. It's currently $247 to really go into this deeper. Like I'm truly recommending this from my heart. I have broken down so many ways to make money in that program through your marketing. So there's only so much I can take you through on a live stream, but if you are serious about creating $5,000 months, Innovate is going to be incredible for you because we're looking at the marketing intelligence, the brand proposition, and what it's really going to take for you to build an actual company and get you thinking a little bit bigger versus even once you start to create $5,000 months, you're going to be like, the next thing you're going to do immediately is $10,000 and $20,000. You're just going to always want more. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually normal and that's really healthy and beautiful. But without that base and that understanding of what your brand represents and how to actually market, that's where we create consistent $5,000 months, $10,000 months, $20,000 months. And that is so important. So if you're not already in Innovate, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's bit.ly/Innovate Workshop. It's 3 hours with a 30-minute Q&A, it's incredible. So once you are deciding if you want to sell from the top down, you totally can. That's more of a premium offer. So let's say you have a coaching package that's 3 months. It's $2,500 and you sold 2 spots, and then that was 3 months. So you have now $5,000 months for 3 months. Let's say you have a 3-month coaching package that ends up being, $1,000 a month each, and you had 5 people sign up and they each did a payment plan. You can work out the monthly recurring income to see how that happens. You could also sell 2 coaching spots and then also do a course. Like, there's many ways to make $5,000, but the very first thing to decide is, do I want to start with premium? Do I have a premium offer that I want to serve a few people with? Or do I have more of a base level offer that will potentially serve more people? And then from there, you can start to look at your marketing and how can I be very clear on 3 things. How does this offer meet their needs specifically, their specific need? And the way that you find out your customer's need is by, yes, asking them, what do you need? Or intuitively feeling, what do they need? And if they say, I need more time, or I need more knowledge, or I need more confidence, the follow-up question that you're going to address in your marketing is, to do what? So we all want more time, but to do what with that time? And then if your marketing can speak to that and your offer can speak to that, that's the underlining desire. That's what they really want to create, or what they really want to spend their time with, or what they really want to be more connected to. So now your offer is very clearly saying, here's exactly how we're going to get that need met. Here's how this desire is going to come alive in this container. And then here are the benefits of choosing me as a coach versus someone else. And this is the part where I feel as entrepreneurs we get a little bit shy and scared, is we also need to understand that there's competition. And that's not bad. But let's be for sure real that there's competition. There's people all over the marketplace saying and doing similar things. And competition is not bad when we're looking at it through, okay, how can I know why I'm the one for them? So the way we figure that out is asking, what chapter are they in their business, or in their life, or in their relationship, or in their health journey, or in their personal development journey? Once we know what chapter they're in, we can decide if we're the one for that chapter and why. So for me, I gave this example on Innovate. I know that I'm the coach that helps you remember that you're a legend. I'm not the coach that's going to remind you that you're human. I'm going to be the coach that brings you into breakthrough and brings your human into this completely new understanding about what they're capable of and what your mind and your body can create when they're in union. So I know that other coaches who could be offering something really similar to me, it doesn't bother me because I know exactly why I'm the one for the people who are meant for my offers. I know exactly how to talk to them. I know exactly how to be with them. I know exactly what I personally have to add to their life. And I very clearly state it unapologetically. So some people get afraid of this because they don't want to brag, or they don't want to be too demanding or too much or too this. But you can't sell and be afraid of being too much at the same time. You can't market powerfully and be afraid of being too much at the same time. If Nike was afraid of intimidating anyone, they would never have asked Michael Jordan to be one of their main people. If Nike was afraid of being too much, they would have never made it to the level that they are right now. So deep down energetically, we have to know for ourselves, why are we the one for the people this offer was designed for? And then a huge part of our marketing is sharing that from this more embodied space. So anybody who's hopping on this live right now, I'm answering 5 questions that we got in our IG stories. I'm not going to be able to answer impromptu offers or impromptu questions because that would be a little bit too much right now. So if you have a question that isn't getting answered, I can give you a recommendation of where to get that answer. Or a lot of this I've talked about inside Innovate. And that's a workshop that's currently on sale for $247. But I want to get through the questions that I pulled specifically for this live. So this question was how to go from $0 to $5,000 months. So I'm just taking you through the back end of building out an offer that would then be marketed to an audience specifically based off of what they desire. And then the last piece here that I want to touch on is compatibility. So as much as we want to create for our people and we want to bring things to our people that feel really good and are things that they're asking for, we also have to always qualify that with our own desire. And we have to ask ourselves, do I want to provide this? And here's where I believe our innovation can really come into play. So for me, I discovered really early on that I love one-to-one coaching, but I'm not in love with it. So I'm not in love with coaching, but I do love it. I like it. I'm good at it. I enjoy it. It brings me joy. It brings me radiance, but it's not where I want to spend a majority of my time. And that just happened to be what people wanted. They wanted to receive coaching. They wanted to receive the way that I think about things. They wanted to be guided by me, and I could feel that. So instead of saying, no, I don't want to coach, so I'm not going to do anything, I innovated. And I created amazing hybrid programs that give you the experience of being coached by me while also more in a teaching space. I also lowered the amount of one-on-ones that I take, and then I increased the amount of masterminds that I do, because I like to have intimate masterminds where we can go into these deeper spaces and I can coach you, but it's not necessarily one-to-one. So I'm bringing this up for this question because you also have to feel excited about what it is that you're providing. So what do you truly desire to provide? And how can you shake things up a bit and change things in a way that are going to feel good for you? So getting out of the noise and out of the bubble and saying, I know I could just, tell people about a 3-month coaching package, but how could I innovate a little bit around, let's say you're doing health coaching. What does the health coaching industry really need right now? So we want to look at the needs and the desires of our clients. We want to look at the desires of what we want to provide. And then we need to look at the desire of the industry as a whole and what you want to interrupt or shift or bring to life based off of what's already existing. So that's what I would do, is decide if you want to sell from the top down or if you want to start with a base level offer and go up. It's going to take some time. Do not expect it to be easy. Do not expect it to just happen overnight. You're going to have to build some trust. You're going to have to build some credibility. You're going to have to work your content. You're going to have to get innovative with the way you're sharing your message. You're going to have to say the same thing in different ways again and again and again. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to sell unapologetically, and you're going to have to be really clear on why you're doing what you're doing, period. And that will get you to $5,000 months, 100%. And then there's some strategies, exercises, like I said, that I offered inside Innovate. Okay, let's see here. The last question that I'm going to answer is Mackenzie, and I hope that she was able to make it live. Mackenzie asked how to make sales more pleasurable and how to make them feel just more enjoyable in general. And the fastest way to make them more pleasurable is to stop making them about you. So I stopped thinking about how can I make sales more pleasurable for me, and I got really clear on how I can make sales more pleasurable for you. How could I make it more pleasurable for you? So I look at sales as, and we talked about this in vocal codes when we were talking about your sales voice, because most people have this sales voice or this sales persona, and then they have their teaching persona, and then they have their real life persona, and they're all kind of slightly different. Thank you so much. And I have started to feel like our sales voice gets to be meshed with all of our other voices and our true nature. When that happens, selling just becomes a natural part of who you are. I want you to imagine selling is just you being you. It's you telling people about the things that are rocking your world. It's you telling people about the things that you believe in with every bone in your body. If you read a book tomorrow that completely changed your perspective on something or changed your life, what would you then go do? And I want you to answer honestly in the chat. If you read a book tomorrow that was like, oh my God, this was really freaking juicy, what is the thing that you would do? What would you do? Give yourself a second to really feel into that. Oh, you're in Ghana. Amazing. I'm in Pacific Standard Time, so I've got that 08 of the hour. Thank you. You're like my live stream assistant. I'm loving it. So I tell all my best friends, you have to read this book. That is selling. Whether you realize it or not, that is selling. Selling is talking about the things that you are wildly obsessed with. It's telling people about the things that you genuinely think they're going to benefit. And the only way that you would tell them about it is if you think they're going to benefit from it. You wouldn't tell your mom or let's say your cousin. You're going to do your best friends who you're like, I know you would love this because I love it. I'm obsessed with this and I have a feeling. I was like thinking about you as I was reading it. The same thing goes for our offers. And that's how we make sales and selling more pleasurable, is we tell people about things that we love, and we don't sell anything unless it feels like, yes, this is everything. And that hype and that excitement is for you to hold, but hype doesn't necessarily sell. So let's go a little bit deeper. If I tell my best friends about this book, yes, they're going to go buy the book. Why? Because I've had the same best friends for 10, 12 years. And over time, as I recommended more books, and this is probably my 50th book recommendation, and we've had millions of heart-to-hearts. We've sobbed in each other's faces. We've held each other through all the good times. I mean, we've lived lifetimes together. So if I say buy this book, they're buying the book. Now our audience, they don't know us like that. They're like, who's this person telling me to buy a book? Who's this person who all of a sudden is like excited about this random book? AKA random program, AKA random offer, AKA random anything that you're like the 10th, 15th thing that they've seen today. So this is where our marketing comes in. This is where our brand personality comes in. This is where our content comes in. We want to establish the trust, and we want to tell them why we are the ones they should listen to book recommendations from. We should be telling them not just here's the thing, but we have to market. In our marketing, what do I keep saying? I'm repeating the same thing because it matters so much. Our marketing is what creates memory and trust and connection and love, and I believe you. But if I were to just tell you about the House of We, and I would have never dropped a documentary that showed the behind the scenes, or I would have never told you the story of my bankruptcy, or I would have never let you in on how I built it, or the failed launch in the beginning, you would have never trusted me when I said, and here's the membership. But I used my marketing to build that trust. And then when I sold the membership, people were feeling the connection to it. And then I clearly stated why I truly and still today believe that it is the best money membership on the freaking planet. And here's exactly what you're going to get in this membership that you may not get from other ones. And can I do that in a way that doesn't make the other one wrong? This is where we can experience the pleasure, because we're telling our people who we genuinely care about how we can genuinely add value to their life. And there's nothing more incredible than that. One of the quotes that I put on the post for the House of We, the most recent one, was, the most beautiful thing you can do and the greatest gift you can give as an entrepreneur is your offers. The greatest gift you can give is to sell. And we can look at every big company that is impacting our lives. We can look at the Oprahs of the world and the Gabby Bernsteins and the Tony Robbins and everybody. If they did not have the courage and the pleasure and the love and the trust to bring their gift to the planet, we would never be experiencing it. So I always ask, how could you not feel good selling? How could you not feel so lit up? And if somebody doesn't respond, or nobody buys, or you don't get the engagement you thought, what did I say in the beginning? That is the hardest part, and it sucks every time. And it still happens to me sometimes. You would think that I have, 5,000 views on my stories, or that every reel goes viral, but it doesn't. There's some that don't. There's some stories that only get 200 views. There's some reels that they don't land. There's some posts that don't make it. But as a CEO, I'm not taking that personally. I'm asking and feeling the excitement of, great, where do we get to go next? Okay, that didn't work. Then this bigger idea that I had, I'm definitely doing it now. Okay, that didn't work. Let me change this wording. Let me change this angle. Let me play with this. And we have to start to follow that pull. But the moment we make it about us and we get really in our head and we make it personal, we pull the pleasure out and we're back in, I need to get validation. And you're not always going to get validation through sales. And you can't get validation through selling. It's a giving conversation. And that's why selling is you giving. So it's not, what can I get? How can I be seen? How can I get more money? Or how can I make this more noticeable? It's something in the way that I'm giving this isn't working for my people. So just like if you were in a relationship with your partner and they said, hey, I love you, but this isn't working. I would love a little bit more of this. Our ego is like, okay, I hate this. I'm really afraid you're going to break up with me right now. I'm really afraid you're going to leave. I'm really afraid that this is over. But what I'm hearing you actually say is you want a little bit more of this. So I'm going to practice that. And the same thing goes for selling. The moment that our audience doesn't engage in the way that we would have want them to, our ego collapses and is feeling the fear of nobody likes me, nobody likes this, nobody does this. So watch that voice. And what do? Wrangle it in. Because that voice is either going to run your show and steal all the pleasure and take you out, or you're going to have to wrangle that voice in and say, listen, that is not true. You are not being actually personally rejected. There is something that gets to be shifted in the way that we're marketing this. There is something that gets to be shifted in the way that we're saying this. So we either need to get support on somebody who nails this and that we respect and love and feel connected to, or we have to listen to our true intuition, and maybe we already have the idea and we need to act on it. We got to try something new. But there is nobody likes you, you're bad, this sucks. That's not thinking like a CEO. That's making it about you. And a CEO is always thinking about the people and how we can continuously connect in these new ways. So this is really about adaptability, being truly in love with what it is that you're talking about, and imagining your audience however you need to imagine them to take them off the pedestal. Take your audience off the pedestal. Because the more that we put them on a pedestal, the more that we hold these unrealistic expectations of them, and the more that they fall and disappoint us, and that we get, charged up and this and this and this. And at the end of the day, you and your audience are equal. What you desire already desires you. And we're going to make different tweaks along the way to land the plane with different groups of people at different times. And that takes effort. It takes mental fortitude. It takes trial and error. It takes really understanding human behavior. It takes understanding the human mind, understanding the behaviors of your body and yourself and your audience. So when we sign up for entrepreneurship, we think, okay, I can't wait to tell people about this cool thing. But when we're signing up for entrepreneurship, we're really signing up for this effort, like this behind the scenes of really understanding human beings. Entrepreneurs are the only career path that have dedicated their whole lives to understanding human beings. If you're in a corporate America job, or you're in a 9-to-5, or you are doing something else, you have a task. You know exactly what you're doing every day. And it's consistent and it's the same, and then there's a predictability there. And for some people, that sets their whole heart on fire. Like my mother, for example, it sets her heart on fire. She loves her job. It is the same thing every day. And she loves it. Well, entrepreneurs, it's like my eyeballs are going in circles. I don't know if I can do that. So we joined this journey to pioneer, to think differently, to see the world differently, to see opportunities, to experience life, to bring things to the table that have never been brought to the table, to sell, to use our voices, to speak up, to put ourselves out there even though it's uncomfortable. That's what we signed up for. So when it happens, don't get surprised. Come back to the vision, come back to the why, come back to what you love, and that's how we'll be able to always keep pleasure in the room. Even when it's really hard, even when it's getting sticky, even when there's problems to solve, even when there's challenges to move through, even when things aren't going exactly how you plan for them to go, or you're disappointed, or you're wondering if it's actually working. I want you to know, and I wish somebody was in my ear whispering this to me, it is working so much that it's going to blow your mind how much it's working. Like when you look back on everything, you're going to see so clearly it was working. It was working so much. And it just wasn't working in the way that I thought it needed to work. So where can you stay 1 foot in? I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to keep giving this everything that I've got. And 1 foot in your intuitive channel of something bigger is leading me. Move on your hunches. You know more than you think you know. Follow those bigger impulses. Follow those bigger ideas. Choose something bigger that will not stand a chance against your inner critic. Choose a vision so big that it has to hold you. And then when your inner critic comes, your inner critic is going to see this vision that's holding you, and you can invite it to join you. And this is why when I was talking about the other question of $0 to $5,000 months, I was referencing that in a moment's notice, that's going to shift to $10,000 months. And you're going to see that it was actually harder to do $5,000 months than it is to do $10,000 months. Because you're creating something from nothing. But the moment that you get things going, the moment that you get things moving, now God is multiplying through you. So enjoy this part of the journey just as much as the other parts. And I often teach this inside the House of We. I'll say there's going to come a point, there's going to come a time where you miss the version of you who asked these questions. Where you put your hand over your heart and you say, I remember that version of me. I really do. I remember the version of me who used to ask these questions, who used to be challenged by these things, who used to feel this way, and I miss that version of me. Because there's a level of courage that comes with that version of you. And a level of courage that you're not going to get at other points in your journey. When you're just starting off and you're building something from nothing, there is really nothing to lose. It's the wildest feeling in the world to have nothing to lose and to just say, I'm freaking doing this thing. I don't care how stupid I look. I don't care how wild it is. Like, I'm doing this. And then I look at where I am right now, and I look at how I've gone from that point to today. And today there's a lot to lose. So my courage isn't as wild as it used to be. I have to really muster it up. Today there's a lot more to lose. I have a team now. I have responsibilities bigger than I ever thought I would ever have. I have the connection with my companies, multiple ones. I have attorneys involved, and I have bigger decisions to make. And there's a lot to lose. It's not just creating something from nothing anymore. So there is a part of me that's like, gosh, I remember that just faith that was so furious that it moved everything. And now sometimes I have to really search for that. And I have to remember, go find that pep, go find that step. Because that same courage gets to follow you through every chapter. But I'm telling you that there's going to come some times where you're like, wow, I remember that feeling. So my purpose in sharing this part of the story is enjoy the process. The ones who can fall in love with the process are the ones who can fall in love with the entire journey. And when we're in love with the entire journey, we don't put one moment above the next. And that keeps us humble. And if you can stay humble, then you can stay in your integrity and in your leadership in a way that will have you stand out so big. So now we're getting into a whole nother thing. But I wanted to share that piece because all of these questions had one thing in common. They were asked by really brilliant women who want to do something powerful in the world. And they were asked in an effort to fix something. And I want to remind you that there's nothing to fix. There's just some things for you to refine. And I want to implore you and invite you to truly start to look at your company from a higher lens with your CEO hat on. Not just some random person who decided to start a business. That's not you. If you're signing up for entrepreneurship, you're signing up to be a CEO. The chief empress, the chief executive, the chief evolutionary operator, whatever. You're signing up to be the CEO. You are at the helm. You matter so much. Nothing else works unless you are fully taken care of. So start there and then start to look at your company, the soul of your business, and say, let's ride. We're going to do this thing and we're going to do it really well and we're going to take it more seriously. Not in a I'm rigid seriousness, but in a I'm not just slapping paint at the wall anymore. I got to really understand my brand story. I have to understand my marketing. I have to understand how I want to sell. I got to understand my people. I need to understand humans. How do they buy? How do they think? How do they move? I need to know that about myself. I need to watch. I watch in stores all the time. I watch how people walk into the store. Where do they go first? What do they pick up? Today, when I got my mail, I got a piece of mail from Caraway. I was just about to purchase it on Instagram because it's marketed to me all the time, but I didn't. I want to get some more reviews. Results-driven buyer. I need more proof. It's cute. It's beautiful. Pleasure-driven. But I need more proof. I want to make sure that my stuff don't stick because that's what I'm looking for is a specific benefit. I do not want my food to stick. So I'm looking for marketing that is throwing it in my face that we will not have sticky food on our pans. Caraway is close to marketing to that. So I got my mail today and I picked it up and it said the internet's most popular kitchenware. Kitchenware without all the chemicals. All of a sudden, I was like, holy frig. They just reinvented my desire. I thought that I desired my food to not stick, but I really don't want the chemicals on my food after it sticks. So all of a sudden, I was like, wait a second. I think I want Caraway. I don't want any chemicals. That feels clean, clear, boom. So I'm one step closer to choosing them as my kitchenware. I'm still not fully convinced. Results-driven buyer. They're still cute. But I need a little bit more information. So I'm either going to go look for that information or I'm going to ask somebody else who's used the product, which I've already done. Third thing, I'm going to wait till they market to me again. Your clients, okay, now we're about to kick it up again. Get ready. Your clients are waiting for you to market to them again. And I've had clients actually tell me, I knew you were going to post about it again. I wasn't ready when you posted on Tuesday at 12. But by Friday, I knew you were going to post again, and I want to see how I felt then. And I'm doing that right now with Caraway. I'm waiting for their thing to show up. I know that it will. But if all of a sudden the CEO was like, nobody's buying the Caraway, we're going to just pull the plug on marketing. What about all the people who are waiting, results-driven buyers who just needed that last bit of information to freaking buy the kitchenware? So I'm going to buy the kitchenware. I am. I've already decided. It's just when. And is it going to be Caraway or this other one? I'm waiting for Caraway to tell me why they are the kitchenware for me in a simple, clear way. And so far, they've told me they're kitchenware without chemicals. And that feels really freaking good. Great. I'm feeling more trust. They're in my mail now. They were on my phone. So now we're hanging out in different places. So the reason why I got onto this is, do you see how my brain is working? I'm thinking like a CEO and I'm noticing it in other companies outside of just our industry. If you're getting all of your marketing ideas by scrolling your phone, you are going to drive yourself crazy and likely not actually end up marketing. You need to leave your phone at home, go get a really dope office space or a hotel room, or go outside at the park, get a giant pad of paper or a dry erase board and start to brainstorm and mastermind and bring this thing to life without the stimulation of something else pulling at your intuitive nature and the intelligence of the marketing that wants to come through you. Tell me what comes through. Let this creative channel fully have a chance to speak because you're likely filled with ideas and innovation. You just need to be in the environment that's going to give birth to that. That's going to actually open that up. So I think we've gone above and beyond with this. I've had a cough attack. The phone has died. My ring light has died. This whole thing was a hot ass mess. But it was on my heart. I woke up. My everything was buzzing around selling and sales. I want this for us. I want us to get this. I want this industry to be taken seriously. I want us to have companies that change the world. We gotta do this, y'all. We need to stop giving our power to all these gimmicks and these and all this falsehood. I can't even put words to it. You know what I'm talking about though. And we need to put our CEO hats on and do this thing in a way that's going to actually feel sustainable. So if this is completely like, I don't even know where to start, then get support from someone, whether it's me or someone else. I actually don't even care. I want you to choose based off of what your heart feels, but get in the room with people who know business, like really know business. You likely don't need to be inspired anymore. You need to understand business so you can run your life and do this thing, like for real. This is my tough love. Like, we got to do this. It's time. This is the time. This is the most exciting time to do this. We are going up, 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 up. Like, it has never been a more powerful time to make money doing what you love. It has never been a more beautiful time to share your ideas with the world. There has never been a more perfect time on planet Earth for you to innovate the next big thing. Period. We got to stop winging it. Y'all guys, stop winging it. Yes. And really ask, why am I doing this? Is it really just for $5,000 months? Or what is it for? What's the bigger thing? Like, yes, that's a big deal. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be epic. But we have to have something above that, like a bigger thing that we're moving towards. And then we have to have a brand personality that can speak to that again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And then we have to have a human behind it that knows business and is supported and nourished and vital. That's how we change the world. Everything else is us just, it's fun while it's here, but we really have to start looking at the bigger picture. And I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it with my clients. I'm asking my clients really hard questions right now. And these questions are not easy to answer. They're annoying to answer because it requires brain power and it's challenging us to understand our value and why we're doing what we're doing. Nobody wants to be asked why, but if your marketing can't answer that, nobody's going to know. They're going to be confused and try to figure it out for themselves. So I want to also be transparent that what I'm asking you is not easy to answer, and that's on purpose. 70% of people have an open head in HD. Yes, they're going to hold multiple ideas at once. And marketing is going to be really powerful based off of that. Yeah, human design is incredible. It's an incredible source of information. It's an incredible tool for business. And I think it's important to know humans, and that's one tool that you can use to get to know human beings. Okay, y'all, this has been so much fun. I will do more Hot Mess Express lives more often. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to share. Any other questions before we hop off? And I can't believe we lost the other live. I'm gonna have to look at my archives and see, because that was a vibe. Oh, thank you. Yay, I'm so glad you guys are resonating. Okay, we're gonna save this for the next 24 hours. Then it's gonna go into the house of we. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm just like looking at my hair and Riley snoring behind me, and I love that we can just do this. This is why I love social media. This is why I love people. And even if there was like 2 people on right now, I remember when there was like 2 people on, you just do it. You just show up. So thank you, every last human being that decided to join for this last hour and a half. Holy moly. I love you. I believe in you. I see you, and I am building right alongside you. I hope that this space, the House of We, is supportive for you. We're going to start adding more business, selling, and all that kind of content to this page. So make sure you follow, and I will see you on the next live. Mwah. Bye, everyone.